Okay, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Check out all my social media and the links in the comment section below, but let's get right to it. Okay, so I'm like a week behind. I think the season finale of The Bachelor was yesterday or something, and the wife and she waits for me when I'm busy with work and all that kind of stuff to kind of catch up on stuff. And so we've been watching The Bachelor, and last night's episode just kind of put the nail in the coffin for this show for me. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because not only, look, it's been on over 20 years or something like that, 20 something seasons. This show's run its course. Okay, it's done. It gets worse and worse every time it's on. Forget the whole thing about, The Bachelor being racist or, not having enough black people on the show. That's a subject matter all in itself. I worked in reality TV for a very short period of time. And I worked on a television show, and these shows are scripted. Okay? I don't care what anyone says, and you can tell by the bloopers, but they have what they call field producers that kind of weave the storylines through. They know they're going to pick someone on a show that's going to be the villain. They know they're going to pick somebody that's going to, like, they strategically cast these shows. Yes, it is supposed to be a relationship building thing, but when everything is completely planned out, it becomes just total bullshit. Now, this thing with Matt James in this latest Bachelor, I watched this episode last night. This is the one right before, I guess, he's got to pick who he's got to pick. And I'm sure it's already been leaked out or whatever. I don't care. But I understand where he's coming from and that he had to have this talk with his father. Okay? But what completely ticked me off is that how do I explain this? He sabotaged his father. His father, whether his father was in the wrong or a nasty guy or, cheated on his mom and left him, all that stuff, they brought him out there and he was so excited. You could see it on his face. And they brought him out there and then they sabotaged him with this discussion. He obviously did not know they were going to talk about this stuff. He may not have come on the show if he knew they were going to talk about this stuff. And you could tell how uncomfortable he got to the point where even his head started sweating. And that's not because of the lights and the cameras and all that kind of BS. He was upset. And that was a conversation Matt James needed to have with his father off air and weed that stuff out. Okay. Whatever drama had gone on in his life. Because, what I mean by this is I worked on a reality show. I just was saying this earlier and I diverted because I keep looking at this picture and I keep getting frustrated. I worked on a reality television show, and there was a father and son in it. And, it was a long time ago. It was on Discovery. I think it was Discovery. It was called Swamp Loggers. And, this was a show where there was a father and son who owned this company where they tree log. They go into a swamp and they scoop up these logs. They load them up on a truck and they ship them. And, they only make money if you can get like 20 loads out a day. And they never seem to get those loads out on time, at least not when I was there. And they make like $500 per load or $1,200 per load or something like that. And they got to pay all their employees and all this other kind of stuff. Well, there was a field producer. I didn't like the guy at all. And the father and son were very close. Very close. You could tell it. And they never argued. They always had a good time. And there was like a piece of equipment that broke down one day. And the field producer wouldn't allow the son to tell the father that this piece of equipment broke, because then they weren't going to be able to get their loads out and they were going to lose money for the day and all this other kind of stuff. It was like an hour before the day was over. And he tells the dad, hey, this piece of equipment broke. Why didn't you tell me that? And they got into this heated argument, and it wasn't faked. And because I was there, and I just thought to myself, these guys love each other, father and son. When you see them off camera and all that other kind of stuff, they were such good people. And to pit one against the other with the way the field producer did it, by having like something that the son would have told him first thing in the morning so he could have gotten it, something repaired, just to cause drama, just to make an episode of a show, you start screwing with people's lives. You start screwing with people mentally, and it's just disrespectful. And this is that kind of crap. And this is why The Bachelor seems to be spiraling out of control, whether it's with the host of the show because he defended somebody that said something, because everybody gets offended by everything now. I don't even know what it's about, so I don't want to comment about it. The fact that there's, they hardly ever have, African-American, black people on these shows for 20 years. And then the ratings of this season have just they just keep going down. And it's because the quality of the show is going down. And then there's controversy after controversy with this season. And it's come to a point where, ABC, owned by Disney. I've worked for ABC. I've worked for Disney. You got to move on. It's been 20 something years. Let this show go. Go do something else. Find something else. And I would say stop messing with people's lives, because that's exactly what this show did in this last episode, is they just screwed with this father. And sure, it looked all happy in the end when he hugged him and also, but he came out there with a preconceived notion of what was going to go down. I was going to see my son. He's on this television show. Everything's going to be great. We're going to hug. We're going to talk. We're going to have a good time. And then you could see the rug was pulled right out from underneath him. And the field producers should be ashamed of themselves for doing that. Absolutely ashamed of themselves. I'm sorry. Like, this show is a joke. It's been a joke for years. I think out of all the years that people have gotten supposedly married, only maybe 2 worked out. So what kind of average is that? Like, why would you even want to go on the show other than to be an Instagram supermodel or something and just, raise your star meter or whatever the hell you want to do? This show sucks. It just sucks. And then, and half these people end up on Paradise Island after this, and that'll be a train wreck in itself too. And it's just a shame. It's a shame, and it just shows you how far this show has gone. It started off. I mean, just the concept of it. That you just pick 20 people and they get to hang out for a month, and then at the end somebody gets married. It's just like, I watch it because my wife watches it. But every time I'm done with an episode, I get frustrated as a human being, because I know this show is written. No matter what anybody says, there's field producers trying to do things. They put them in group dates. They know they all this stuff is designed to just keep people's eyes on the show, watching the drama, watching the train wreck, so that advertisers could make money. I get it. That's the business model. But it's show business. And people forget that. This reality stuff is not real. It's really not. I would say the only show that has been a true reality show until it was canceled was Cops, because that was like the real deal. But every reality show that's on television is scripted and has field producers writing storylines, period. Nobody can tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm correct about that. What did you guys think about this crappy episode? Ambushing his father like they did. Just disgusting. I hope the show does go away. Because in some respects, reality TV has completely dumbed down America, as far as I'm concerned, over the last 35 years or more that this reality shows have been on television. They just dumb down America. That's all they do. None of it's real. All of it's fake. I'm sorry. Anyone can challenge me on that, but I know I'm right. So that's it. What did you guys think of this crappy show, The Bachelor, and how crappy it's getting and how it just needs to go away? Let's talk about it in the comments section, and we'll see you on the next one.